Good morning. It is the 8th day of the month of February. And listen, it is a wealthy Wednesday. And I just want to say it is very, very wealthy because you're going to get a wealth of knowledge. You're going to find a lot of things very interesting in this interview. But most importantly, you're going to find out what's
What's
poppin'.
poppin'?
You know what I mean? So listen, folks. First of all, before we even start a phenomenal day, you know the routine. A phenomenal woman always and forever will have something to say. Yes, good morning, Mom. In the spirit, in Radio Land, all over the world that we walk on. And listen, like I said, learning experience called life is a real one, but you're about to learn something else today because I have a phenomenal guest in studio today. Ooh, this is going to be fun. First of all, we are talking about Miss Helena. Call her Lena for short. She is the HHIC. Do y'all know what that stands for? No, we going to tell you. Head hostess in charge
Woo!
of What's Poppin' USA. A mom, wife, disabled military veteran, and she's always on top of her P's and Q's about small business fundamentals and simply etiquette. A lot of us need to learn the etiquette of business. And her goal is to elevate the small business owner, to lay a strong foundation on which to build your dream high rise in the sky, moving on up like the Jeffersons.
Wheezy.
Yup, George and Wheezy. Wheezy! But anyway, and bust through to that next level because you may have a limitation in the sky, but the universe is another level. So I want to introduce the one and only from What's Poppin' USA, Miss Lena, the head hostess in charge.
Oli, y'all.
How you doing? Good morning.
Oli, y'all. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, and such phenomenal energy.
Thank you.
And when you came across us, we were outside on a Martin Luther King Day of service.
Yep, cleaning up.
Clean campus cleanup, and you came across. You came out of the other side of the building. You're like. You had your camera up. I was like, hello, hey, how's it going? But she had so much energy. She continues that energy today. And I want to say thank you so much for coming through our studios today.
Thank you so much.
Being on the morning machine. But you know what I like to do? I like to take it back to the old school. Let's take it to Union Square. You know how we do it. There's a journey to all of this. So let's start back at the beginning. So who were the pillars of your community that you looked up to when you were coming up that led you to your passion and purpose today?
Ooh, pillars of my community. So... back when I was growing up, back in the dinosaur ages,
Really? Really?
So I'm a 70s baby. That's when
Okay.
I was born.
Okay.
And honestly, truly, there weren't many of us represented in business
Yeah.
at that time. My father, bless his heart, rest in peace, was a serial entrepreneur. But his mental health kept him from progressing and actually, breaking those generational curses and fulfilling his dream of small business ownership and entrepreneurship. And so I actually saw my dad as my role model. And so my why in doing what I do is one, because I want to do what he never could, what he couldn't complete. He had that dream and he was not able to do that. And I saw him struggle in different facets of his small business journey. And, they say you can build a better mousetrap. And I see it. I see the struggles, the differences of us, as opposed to our Caucasian counterparts. And the struggle is real. A lot of times we do it to ourselves unknowingly, where you said that.
Knowingly,
Some knowingly, but
Yeah.
we talk about that business etiquette.
True.
and that's business reputation, word of mouth,
Right.
and that is a business killer if you don't handle it properly, but so my why is my dad. He was my role model actually in seeing what he did. Another gentleman, when I was 15, I had the mom that went and got a job for me.
Yeah.
She filled out the application and said, "Here, this is when you start." Okay.
Oh,
So,
that's the epitome of voluntold.
Amen. So my first job, I was a poop kicker. I worked at a dog kennel. I was there at 7:30 in the morning for 3.5 years. I was there during college, everything. But that was my first actual introduction to a real legitimate small business.
Right.
Mark Levine owned Keystone Kennels, and he diversified with the dogs. He had a cemetery, he had a transportation service, he had groomings. He did that one business and just expanded on that knowledge.
Right.
And that spoke to me. Right? So a lot of times we go into small business thinking, ooh, I love art, so I'm just going to draw. Well, maybe the drawing part isn't right for you. Maybe you have to diversify. Maybe you can be a curator.
Right.
Maybe you do for other people's arts. You market them. You're at a museum. There's different ways to diversify when you're in a business and you have a passion. Right. So, they say that those can't do teach. You still are in your field, you just diversify. So my Keystone Kennels first boss was one of my inspirations. Then again, my father. Not being able to complete that is my second inspiration.
So along that journey, what was the best advice that you've received that still resonates with you to this day?
Ooh.
Because I'm sure you've had countless advice from several people that you've come along the journey.
I have, and I've really kind of come to this one on my own, and it's called discernment. And I call, it's like women's intuition. We got that gut. She might hang over our pants a little bit, you know what I mean? But that girl is never wrong. You know what I mean? We got to trust her. And so that women's intuition, that gut, that discernment, that knowing when things come to you, and that's not only in business, but that's in life. Every opportunity is not for you. Every opportunity is not meant for you.
That's why they say all money is not good money.
Right. It could be an opportunity, but it's not meant for you right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so it's the discernment. It's knowing when to go ahead, when to hold back, and just like in life, sometimes you got to take those 2 steps backwards to get those 4 steps ahead.
Right.
And it's the same thing in business.
Absolutely. And,
yes, sir.
It's so interesting that you say that, because when we speak on business etiquette, a lot of us don't know
manners. It's all about manners. So if you were going to the mall or to McDonald's and you pull up on the cash register and she's got her or he's got his back turned to you snapping gum and on the phone, right? That's typical, right? That's bad manners, but you're rolling your eyes. Y'all can't see this because we're on radio. He's over there rolling his eyes.
Not really.
Yes, you are.
No.
But okay, so let's give you an example. Let me bring it back to, McDonald's. You
True.
know what to expect, and I'm not trying to call them out. They're big business, but you know what you're getting when you go to McDonald's. You know that your order might be messed up. You know the kind of service you may or may not get. You know the age of the folks who are going to be at the counter. You know what's going on, right? When you encounter a small business, do you know them? You just found them on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
You're getting
to know them. Right. You want to get to know them.
Right.
When I say business manners and etiquette, so if you're going to have a website that you put on social media or you put out there to the masses, please pay your website bill. That is bad manners, bad etiquette. When your business is not accessible, but you're trying to be a big business. You're trying to be business, but you're not accessible. How about people reach out to you for an order?
Right.
And The clock's ticking. 4 days later, they get back to you about placing an order. But how many candle companies have you found on Instagram and TikTok? They're a dime a dozen. You scoop that one to the side and go on the next thing smoking. You see what I'm saying? Business etiquette. Nothing kills your small business faster than bad manners. Bad manners. Okay?
And I was going to add, and you know, it's interesting that you say that. So that would be the number one thing, but also there's other levels of business etiquette. Expound on that level of business etiquette. What is best for small businesses to do as it pertains to etiquette? You would think that it's common sense, but
common sense isn't common, babe.
Right.
So the biggest thing that I see with small businesses is they're small, but they want to act like they're big. Well, then you mimic the big businesses then. And I say that by meaning, can you call Mr. Wendy's or Mr. Walmart at 9 p.m. and text message them or jump in on their DMs and ask them a bunch of questions? And then are they going to answer you? As a small business, you need to set up your business policies and practices. The faster you set up those things, the faster and the quicker the customers will respect you and patronize you because they see that you have your ish together.
Yeah.
By that, I'm saying, so do they have a website? Do they have a location? Or if I can't find their location, can I get to them by any means necessary? Their social media links work. When I do approach them, you know, you can hear people smile over the phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can hear people smile through a text message, just like you can detect stank over the phone and in a text message. You can detect the stank, right?
Yeah.
So business etiquette, if a customer reaches out to you, you may have had a bad day. You might have a baby on your hip because you're a small business. You might be cooking dinner. You know what I mean? Either you regroup yourself and you answer that, or you take it to a place where you have your business hours and you answer it and schedule that stuff to send the next morning.
Right.
As small business owners, we think we have to be on the gun, right there all the time. Set up your business policies and procedures, your hours of operation, your cancellation policy, your refunds.
Yes.
Don't wait until somebody has a problem with your product or your service to be like, ooh, well, we don't really take refunds. Like that should have been
that, and even saying it like that sounds unsure. So now you
Can I share a story with you that is absolutely terrible and hilarious at the same time?
Absolutely.
Right? So, as a small business owner and as a, as a mom, as a wife, and as a person who's been on this earth for 51 years now, I've learned to kind of tell it a little honestly, right? And so, small business owners alike, whether you're good or whether you're bad, I'm going to talk about you. If you're great, I'm going to shout you to the rafters. If you need a little bit of work, I'm going to come to you and tell you what the work is needed. And then if you continue to do the same stuff and you poop on me again, I'm going to talk about you. So I had a young lady who I ordered a bathing suit from. Okay, it was a one piece. It wasn't a bikini. It wasn't anything spectacular, right?
Yeah.
And so I tried this on, and now I have gentlemen in the office with me, but any women listening know, especially as a melanated woman, when you buy a bathing suit and it is a white material, it must be lined, because as soon as that thing gets wet, it's wet t-shirt season, like left and right. Okay, you can see right through it. And then we also know, as women, when we wear any type of biker shorts, leggings, we have to be really mindful of the crotch, because if it's sewed like an X and there's no like panty kind of like little section in there, it goes right up your hoo-ha and you get that camel toe, which all men, look at, that kind of thing, right? So we try to avoid all of that kind of stuff. So this bathing suit that she sent me was confused. It didn't know whether it wanted to be briefs, boxers, or a bikini cut. It was very unflattering. And so I made a video and I was showing how the bathing suit fit. And I was like, first off, it may just be it's not made for me, dot, 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 dot. Well, the young lady took high offense to my video, and she chimed in on my DM and was like, I saw the video that you put up.
Wow.
And I was like, well,
people do that.
I do, but I was like, in all fairness, I said this product was not for me. Yeah. Maybe somebody else it would have looked better on, dot, dot, dot. This is the part that I'm getting at about small business ownership and business manners and etiquette and acting like the big boys. So I said to this young lady, well, it didn't fit me very well. She's like, well, do you want to try something else? And I said, well, are you going to give it to me? She's like, well, no, I'm not in the habit of giving away merchandise for free. And I said to her, quick as a snap, well, I'm not in the business of buying bull crap after bull crap. Twice and having to pay for shipping and everything. The correct answer would have been, I'm sorry, ma'am, maybe we can do a discount, maybe we could do a discounted shipping, I can give you 10% off your next order. This is where I'm going. Instead of telling me that, you know what she told me? She told me that she started her small business in a homeless shelter and all of her inventory is on the bathroom floor.
Well, that's wait. First things first. Here we are with etiquette.
Can we say woo woo woo? Red flags,
yeah. You see that's one thing right there. When it comes to business, a lot of new and fresh business owners, they let too much out. You don't have to really get into the personals of it, and I think that's where a lot of small business owners go wrong. They take it personally,
yes,
and want to chew you out, but really all you're saying is, hey, can we just fix the problem?
Work it out. Correct.
Work it out amongst business owner to business owner. Even if it's not business owner, it's customer to business owner.
It's customer to business or business to business.
Correct.
Right? And so I've even had situations where, I'm on camera a lot and I was like, I'm not a real girly girl. So I've invested in some makeup and I was like, oh, let me try some lashes. Let me go out there looking like Snuffleupagus like the rest of these girls in Atlanta with the big old eyelashes. So I looked... Snuffy. Hey, bird.
Lord have mercy. She done went Sesame Street on everybody this morning. Go ahead.
But you know what I'm saying? So I decided to look at a fellow small business owner, and I was like, let me look at her site and look for some, face apparel. So I'm looking, and on her site, all she has is the name of a product and a price. There is no description. So I sent her a message and I was like, hey, I'm interested in getting some products, but I'm having a hard time figuring out what is what. The good business owner would have said, okay, Miss Helena, I know what you do for a living, so I'm going to be nice to you and tell you exactly what these products are. No, that's not what she said. What she said to me was, well, if you don't know what these products are, obviously they're not for you.
That's but still, even in the same token, you gotta, the bottom line of all of that is the etiquette has to be there.
Correct.
In order for business to actually grow. It starts with
You're stifling yourself.
Correct.
I say nothing kills small business faster than word of mouth. If you do great, you can shout it from the rafters and it turns on deaf ears.
And it turns into, and even with it turning into gold, it's still fall on deaf ears.
But the minute you do something crazy, the minute you talk out the side of your mouth or your neck to somebody, you have a bad experience, what does that person go do? They go run tell that to all of their friends. All of their friends, their grandmama, their cousin, everybody that'll listen. And then you're going to have all these people flooding that page just to see what this person actually does for a business. Then they might start talking back. It's a snowball.
Yeah.
And social media is like high school.
Great analogy.
Am I wrong, though?
The best analogy I ever heard. Social media is like high school.
The rumors, the clicks, the innuendo, all of that foolishness.
Just too much, and this is why a lot of people that are phenomenal business owners, if they don't have a purpose to be on social media, they stay off.
Man, can you say that again?
If they don't have a purpose from being in social media, we stay off.
And social media for small businesses is not your only option.
Exactly.
I tell people, please get your booty off social media. It is so nice to be able to connect with your family, your friends, and all of that. But if you're a massage therapist, you can't put your hands on nobody on Facebook or on TikTok.
Yeah, somebody.
You want to get out, right? You want to get out.
No, I'm serious. It's public domain.
What I meant,
No,
cheater essential.
No, but here's the thing: it's public domain, and yet again, keep just realness here. It causes a problem, which results also in that trickle down effect.
Well,
from business
if you want to bring even the husband and wife thing into it, I say stay off social media and set your availability hours, like I said, because there was a time a few months ago when your girl was still making her t-shirts with her Cricut machine, and I sent a t-shirt to a young gentleman out in Seattle, Washington.
Yeah.
This young gentleman decided at whatever time difference in the morning, he was much inebriated, and he decided he was gonna Facebook call me at like 2-3 in the morning, and that's not a good look for your husband.
Oh yeah,
and your wife.
Oh yeah, that phenomenal brother sitting across
Exactly.
from me is not
That's
having
what he kind of looked at me, and
I
I'm
wish
like,
I could see that face he got on his right now.
So now I literally set my availability for that, and I turn that off. Don't have people should not be able to have that much access to you.
Yes.
Period. You don't allow that in your personal life. You don't allow people to come knock unannounced at your door and you answer. Right. You don't allow people. How many times we look at the phone and be like, nah, I ain't feeling that conversation today. I ain't talking to them. And then you text them what you want. You know what I'm saying? You know? Like, for real though. And so why do you allow that in your business life? Don't be that hungry. Don't be that desperate. Ooh. They can smell it. You think customers can't smell that desperation? They can't smell it.
And you know what's so interesting? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Team spirit. They can smell it.
Yeah, and you know what? It's so interesting, and I got to make sure we're in time here because I want to switch gears real quick to talk about what's Poppin USA. You're elevating small businesses with your platform. What's Poppin USA?
Yes.
Talk about what's Poppin USA.
Oh wow, what's poppin'? What's poppin' near you, honey? We've got so much going on. So, our community network, I will call it that. Not necessarily a platform. It is a community for small businesses. First and foremost, we have a second Saturdays right here in Atlanta every single month where you can come hobnob, schmooze, sip a little mimosa, a little brunch, a little waffle, a little chicken, a little talk, a little shop. And we hop around from studio to location every month.
Nice.
So this month, February, we're going to be at the Carmichael Garden Group over in Decatur. They are a photo and video studio.
Yeah.
So if y'all want to pull up, bring your products, put on your best gear, and use their professional studio while we're there.
And please have etiquette. That's why we talked about this.
Please be on your business P's and Q's.
Business behavior.
Yes.
Best business behavior. That's
BBB. Yes.
Better Business Bureau. You got to have best business behavior.
So I like that. That's a good one. Your BBB. Yes. Then we have going on this year, 2023. We have the Hats and Heels Tea Party Tour.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that.
So
that's very unique.
This is actually pretty amazing. Last year, here in Gwinnett County in Norcross, we had our first one, and it was amazing. Ladies with those big old church hats, heels, breakfast
Kentucky
at Tiffany's,
Derby
exactly. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So all of our vendors, the attendees, everybody is dressed up and decked out.
Right.
Because it was so much fun, and I think we got a little bit of social media jealousy going on, I was actually hit up by different other small business owners in different states that said, hey, can you put this on here? So now, this year for 2023, we've got Georgia on April 29th.
Yeah.
We've got Connecticut
Okay.
on May 6th. And then Mother's Day weekend, we are at Black Lick Golf Course in Columbus, Ohio. The day before Mother's Day, and that's brunch, that's sipping and shopping. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so much fun. And this is everybody dressed up, decked out. Guys can come too. You just got to wear a brim, a fedora, bring your mama, treat her to brunch and a girls' day fun. Oh my goodness. Good times, good times.
Fellas in fedoras.
You got
Fellas
it.
in fedoras.
So,
you know what I mean? That's my kind of party
you
right
got
there.
it.
I
So
can
if,
wear this fedora, yeah.
But if in person really isn't your thing, we also actually have a small business talk show.
Oh, okay.
So
nice.
we sit down and talk to small businesses, not just here in the A, across the country, and I've actually had some in Canada, up in Ireland, and over in England as well. We've got across, and we come, and the show is all about you. It's all about that one small business. Tell us what you've got going on, and usually during the course of our talk, we hit on things that other small businesses might have questions about. I did an on location for a young lady in Marietta at Outer Beauty LLC who has an actual, brick and mortar store. And she talked about how hard it was and getting the permits and the licensing and having sleepovers in the shop to paint the walls and do construction, because that's the stuff that it takes to be a small business owner.
Yeah, you got to build.
You exactly have to build. So we have a show that comes on weekly, currently on YouTube.
Awesome.
But listen to this, Rob. Hold on to that proverbial booty seat. We have YBTV coming.
Hey!
YBTV, your brand television, is coming to Roku TV.
Roku!
And that is a small business brand platform network TV channel specifically for small business. We don't want them big people. We don't want no Chick-fil-A, no ESPNers, no, Adidas and all. We don't want none of them. We want Rob and Jarvis over here at 1026. We want little Pinky Cole over there at Slutty Vegan, even though she a little big right now. We want Corey Brim over there at Sugar Rim Bar. We want Felicia over there at Allure Candle Scenting. We want all of these small business owners.
Yes.
We talk to them. We get them vetted. We do production. We can get you commercials. We can, if you want a talk show, if you want a comedy show, we are in production right now for this TV channel.
Nice.
So I'm telling you, y'all, you're going to want to jump on anything that What's Poppin' has poppin', because it's really about you. It's about the small business, your brand, what you've got going on, and how we can actually help you gain visibility and put you into the mainstream and stop being tucked underneath that rug like some dirt under the carpet.
Absolutely. And before because I know we're at the bottom of the hour.
Yes,
at this
sir.
Point, but
I can talk. I got the gift.
you got the gift. Let me tell you that. But I will say this. This is a final question that I usually ask everybody coming through in different variations.
Sure.
What is the best advice that you personally have for a business owner that has this idea on the shelf but did not even pull it off the shelf yet and even start on anything, but they want to, but they just don't know how to get started? What advice, the best advice that Miss Lena can give to them?
I would say there's three things. One, just do it. Starting a business is like having a baby, buying a car, buying a house. There's never the right time to do it. Sometimes you just got to jump in with both feet. Okay? That doesn't mean just because you started your business, you give up your big boy or your big girl job. because you don't give up your money until your side hustle can become your main hustle. Okay. The second piece is consistency, persistency.
Yeah.
Keep at it, keep doing it, keep introducing yourself until you don't have to. Let me say that again.
Yes, please.
Introduce yourself until you don't have to. One of the biggest kudos that I got to myself was I jumped out of my car one day and one of my small business owners said, "Oh my God, she really does wear those red sneakers and that red t-shirt."
She really does.
I really do.
She
I
really
have
does.
them on.
Oh yeah.
And so that was my
Branding.
biggest kudo. That is branding
Yes.
yourself until you don't have to introduce yourself. And then the third thing I would say is get you a guide or a book. And if you need one, I actually wrote one. And it's called Make Your Small Business Dreams Come True, Lena's Easy Peasy Guide and Journal to Starting a Small Business. Rob, do you remember, I'm going to date you a little bit. Do you remember those workbooks we used to have when we were in school? You would have a hardcover textbook, a math book, a Spanish book, an English book. But then you had like a floppy workbook that you would actually write your math, right?
Like
I know.
Floppy like the coloring book, yes.
Sir, that's what I did. This book is exactly like that. It is a book with info and you write all of your dreams, your market research, your EIN numbers, what dates you file your taxes, your social media handles, your brand colors, your fonts, everything. You keep it in one little concise workbook like that.
Right.
And it walks you from the rooty to the tooty. You will have no problems starting and maintaining your business with this book. And so, again, introduce yourself till you don't have to. Just start it and get you a guide. How about that?
I like the Pops John Witherspoon rest in peace reference.
Rooty to the tooty.
Miss Lena, thank you so much for giving us what we need to hear as opposed to what we want
what
to
you
hear.
want to.
And in lieu of, people starting small businesses on the daily, and you gave that advice.
There's a lot of fluff, but people don't talk about the reals of it. It's hard. It's hard out there for a pimp. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. It's a struggle.
It is. But it's also a journey.
Rewarding.
Journey
don't forget to
rewarding.
Enjoy the journey. People look at that end result and be like, I want to be like Oprah. I want to have everything that she has. But dude, that journey that she took to get there was amazing. And that's what you want to soak in, that journey that got you to where you're at. So then when you get there, you can be like, you remember that time I was sleeping on the floor and painting my studio? Or you remember the time when I was eating top ramen for a week? Like, you will look back and remember those things.
Yes, and it's amazing when you're able to do that. And listen, thank you so much for being on the Morning Machine. Before we go to break, Miss Lena, tell everybody where to find you, follow you, get connected with you.
Man, Rob, I am everywhere. So we're talking about What's Poppin', no G. You know how y'all would spell it. Poppin USA. What'sPoppinUSA.com is the website. What's Poppin' USA on TikTok and on Facebook. And on Instagram, somebody took my stuff. So it's What's Poppin' _USA.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all go follow Miss Lena. And by the way, I don't want to leave this interview without saying, last but certainly not least, thank you for your service.
Oh, you are so welcome. And he's talking about I was an Air Force vet. Woo! Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
And thank you for being a pillar in our community that helps us get to that next level where we want to be. Thank you so much.
No worries. I got you. Hit me up.
Flowers today. Okay.
Hit me up. I got you.
Absolutely. And so 38 minutes past the hour of the Morning Machine, the machine that makes your mornings move. We are getting into the groove when we come back. It's the Morning Machine.
up. No potty mouth.
Yeah.
I cleaned